Hello, Sharks. My name is Tony Morales, and I am from Flint, Michigan, and I am an inventor. Some of you may have known my city by the worst man-made water disaster in the history of the United States of America. Our drinking water was poisoned in 2014. We did not know we were drinking foul, polluted river water untreated by the government for 2 to 2.5 years. And the only way we started noticing is the discoloration of the water and the foul odor that was coming out of it, and the rashes and the hair loss. It was terrible. It was something out of a Alfred Hitchcock movie. So further on down the line, the whole entire city had to use bottled water for over 3.5 to 4 years straight to bathe, wash, cook, clean, brush your teeth, wash your clothes. Any and everything that was done with water must be done with bottled water. I don't know if you know it, but bottled water is very, very cold to try to shower in every single day, and it takes 3 to 4 cases just to shower. It is very, very, very treacherous. So for that reason, you guys, I decided that it was time for me to get up out of Flint, Michigan. Unfortunately, I had to go. I took my son, my wife, my 2 dogs with me. We all piled into my truck. We took everything that we could sell out of our house that was worth anything. We had no idea where we were going. The only thing we knew is that we had to get out west, because I have always been an inventor, and I know that in Southern California was one of the United States trademark patent offices. I knew about that place, and I knew that I could go there and do my own initial patent search, my own initial patent research. I was taught how to do that 19 years ago. I have other patents, but that is in the past. And I'm here today, you guys. I want to know, I want to let you all know, when I left Flint, Michigan, I didn't know where I was going. Like I said, we ended up coming out west because this is where the patent office was. I had to start all over again. I had nothing at all. And since I am an inventor, I attended a seminar that Mr. Wonderful held. It was here in Las Vegas. I want to say somewhere around Summerlin, Las Vegas is where I met Mr. Wonderful. Well, anyways, when I was in there, it was sort of like a seminar setting. He looked directly at me and he said, how are you guys supporting your dream, your goal? How are you supporting it? How are you financing it? And when he sort of like looked at me, I sort of like shrugged my shoulders, and I sort of looked at the other guy next to me, and I said, I'm kind of sick. And Mr. Wonderful then proceeded to tell me about 2 sons that he has. He said one of his sons, they were both in a nest. One of his sons flew out. When his son flew out, he fell and hit the ground. When he hit the ground, he looked up, looked around, and took off and flew out of the nest and never came back. The second son flew out of the nest, fell on the ground, couldn't get up and fly. So he was looking in the window at his daddy, crying. So the daddy had to bring him back in. So the moral of the story is, you work for what you get. And so he said he doesn't care. 1 job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs. All you need is 3 hours sleep to make your dream come true. He said that's what he did. He slept many nights, 2-3 hours in a tiny cramped quarters with, I don't know if he said 1 or 2 other guys. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny quarter, he was explaining. But so I went ahead and I took Mr. Wonderful's advice, you guys, and I went out and found me a job as a club promoter here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I went ahead and I worked for 6 months straight I went ahead and worked for 6 months straight for 7 days straight, non-stop, until I got enough money to fund and pay for my patent, which is now 100% fully granted. Yes, I did. I went around calling everybody before the patent was granted, asking them if they wanted to invest in this, if they could help me with that, if they wanted to do this. And of course everybody said no, and I don't blame them, because most people don't know, a patent might not ever go through. Sure, you can get patent pending, but you don't know if it's ever going to go through. So I went ahead and took Mr. Wonderful's advice, and I'm so glad that I did, because I managed to get everything taken care of, and plus more. And so now, you guys, I'm at the point to where I was sitting there and Mr. Wonderful was getting ready to leave. So I hopped up. I had to get my patent into his hands. I just knew my patent had to get into his hands. So something he said when he first came on, he said, when you create a sell sheet, you got 90 seconds to sell me on this sell sheet. 90 seconds. If you can't sell me in 90 seconds, I don't want it. So this is going through my head. Here I have a stack of papers this thick, which is a patent, a United States patent. It's got the description of the brief of the patent. It's got the description of the brief of the patent. It's got the description of the brief of the patent and everything about the patent. So I ran up, and Mr. Wonderful ducked in someplace real quick, and there was one of his bodyguards or whoever this young man was, and I went up to the young man. I said, please, can you give this Mr. Wonderful and tell him that I said to please read this. If he does not like this in 90 seconds, then tear it up and forget that he ever even looked at my patent. Approximately 3 minutes later, he came from around the corner. He looked over and gave a wink and a thumbs up. So whether the thumbs up meant he was going to tear it up or whether he liked it, I don't know. So whichever one it was, we will sure find out today. So today I'm here to ask you sharks to invest in Sandy Feet. So together we can make the world healthier again. Thank you so much. Tony Morales.